This was a weekly pop quiz which was related to electrolysis, rate, acid, alkali, and salt. In the first question, the electrical energy or a voltage of a two simple cells are measured. One of the cell we are using cell we are using zinc and magnesium, another one we are using magnesium and copper. What is the reactivity series of the metal? We have potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, copper, mercury, silver, gold, and platinum. So the first one we have zinc and magnesium, and the second one we have magnesium and copper. Greater the difference in the reactivity, greater the voltage produced. We have to check which statements are correct. Statement 1, the voltage of a cell 1 is greater than voltage of a cell 2. Cell 1 is zinc and magnesium, and cell 2 is magnesium and copper. Magnesium and copper has a greater difference in the reactivity, so cell 2 voltage should be higher. But it's written cell 1 voltage is greater, so means statement 1 is incorrect. So all the statements are correct is wrong because statement 1 is incorrect. Only statement 1 and 3 are correct. Even like when you solve one part, you can rectify the wrong answers. So A cannot be an answer, B cannot be an answer because only statement 1 and 3 are correct, but statement 1 is incorrect. And here statement 2 is correct, that zinc is more reactive than copper. And explain statement 1 is totally wrong. So how it will explain that statement? So zinc is more reactive than copper, that is correct. Magnesium is oxidized in both cells. Oxidized means the more reactive metal always oxidize, like lose electron easily. So this is also correct. And magnesium atom loses electron, that's also correct. So it means statement 4 is correct and explain statement 3 because when magnesium is oxidized, oxidation is a loss of electron. So statement 3 and 4 are the correct statement. Even 2 is correct, but why explain statement 1 is wrong? This part is wrong because statement 1 is incorrect. That's why D is the right answer. Is it clear? The next question, dilute aqueous sodium chloride is electrolyzed using a carbon electrode. So we have carbon electrode, anode and cathode. In exam, you can write on these papers because for paper 2, there will be a separate answer sheet. So you can write on the question paper. So positive and negative, you have anode and a cathode. So we have sodium chloride. So there will be sodium plus and chlorine minus. And it is aqueous. So it contains H plus and it contains OH minus. It's a dilute. First, we check the positive ion. Which positive ion will move? Sodium or hydrogen? Which positive ion will move towards the cathode? Hydrogen. Because hydrogen is less reactive, so less reactive will move. The product at cathode will, will be hydrogen. Then because it's a dilute solution contains less salt and more OH ion. So the hydroxide ion will move there. When the hydroxide ion will move there, so it will be oxygen gas because 4 hydroxide ion gives oxygen plus 2 water molecules plus 4E. So hydrogen will be there at cathode and at anode there will be oxygen because this is a fixed equation. When 4 hydroxide ion gives O2 plus 2H2O plus 4E. Because in the question it is mentioned aqueous solution. So aqueous, the term aqueous means it contains H plus and OH minus ion. And sodium chloride, it means it contains Na plus and Cl minus ion. The volume of a gas given off a chemical over a result, volume of a gas is given off in a chemical reaction is measured over a time. At which time is the rate of a reaction greatest? Look, rate is the slope. So which part we have a steeper slope? At 0, it's a horizontal line, so 0. At 4, this is a slope. At 6, this one will be the slope. At 10, this is a slope. Which line is having a greater angle? 6. So it will be C. So steeper the graph, greater the slope of the reactions, faster the rate. So you just have to check which part of a graph is steeper, that will have a higher rate. Then in question 4, a student prepared magnesium sulfate by adding excess of a magnesium to a sulfuric acid. Write a chemical equation. So magnesium, a metal is there, added to sulfuric acid. So metal plus acid, what it will give? It will give salt, water, and carbon, salt and hydrogen. But which salt? It will give magnesium sulfate. So magnesium sulfate is MgSO4 and hydrogen is there H2. Then you check the balancing of equation. You start with oxygen followed by hydrogen and then any other element. Oxygen is already balanced. Hydrogen is already balanced. Sulfur is balanced. So this equation is balanced. 2 observations. What you will see when this reaction will happen. So you have H2SO4 is there, the acid, and with to this acid you are adding a magnesium metal. First thing, when you add a metal, the metal will dissolve, the solid dissolve, and because hydrogen gas is there, so there will be bubbles. So what are the 2 observations? Shows a reaction. Describe 2 observations which shows reaction has finished. So when the reaction is taking place, the solid will dissolve and there will be bubbles when the reaction is taking place. But when the reaction stop, what will happen? No more solid dissolve. Like no solid dissolve and there will be no bubbles. If the same question was there, that what you will see, observe when the reaction is taking place, you will mention the solid dissolve and there will be bubbles. But how you know the reaction has stopped or finished? There will be no solid dissolve or there will be no bubbles. No, you cannot say. Observation, you cannot say. In observation means what you see. You cannot say this thing form. You say hydrogen is not forming, that is wrong. Because hydrogen is not forming is not the observation. Bubbles are not seen, that is observation. No bubbles, no more bubbles. You're not supposed to write any chemical name in observation. Excess of a magnesium is removed by filtration. State the journal name given to a solid separated from a solution. The journal name given to a solid which is separated from a solution by filtration, what we call because excess of a magnesium is left on the filter paper. What we call this excess of a magnesium? We call that as a residue. The aqueous magnesium sulfate, like we have a magnesium sulfate crystals are there. Magnesium sulfate solution is there. Aqueous means like dissolve. It is heated until the crystals begin to appear. State the name for a solution in which no more solute can dissolve. So what is the name given to a solution which cannot dissolve any more solute? We call that as a saturated solution. So saturated solution is a name given to a solution which cannot dissolve any more solute. Suggest why more crystals of magnesium sulfate appear on cooling, because what will happen when a substance cool down, its solubility will What is the meaning of a solubility? Solubility means tendency of a solution to dissolve a solute. That is refers to solubility. When the substance cool down, it cannot dissolve too much solute, so its solubility will decrease. At higher temperature, it can dissolve more solute as compared to that of low temperature. So cold, that's why we cool down the solution so that its solubility decrease and we can obtain the undissolved salt from the solution. So this was a pop quiz which was related to electrolysis, rate, acid, alkali, and salt.